Hey all, Ryan here from Planetary Lapidary, and welcome to another episode of Freeform Fridays, where I take rocks and fossils I find on the western shore of Lake Michigan, shine them up and make them look pretty. So I'm going to do something a little bit different this week because I'm not sure if you guys are going to see the video before I actually do this piece or after, but I'm sorry if it's after because I just couldn't wait to do it. So I found a beach that had so much fossil soup on it. You know, I wanted to find a nice display piece, and this is actually a really good one. It's got a lot of different stems, a lot of different things in it. So what I want to do is I want to do a little wood plate like this, you know, kind of like that's underneath this, but I want it for underneath this guy, and then I want it to be floating up just a little bit off the plate. So it'll have like a wood plate and then just be up a little bit off of it. So here, I'll get this thing wet. So the way I'm going to make this thing look wet, and sometimes it works really good, sometimes it does not, but I'm gonna hit this thing with just some polyurethane, you know, a couple light coats of polyurethane, and it'll look basically just like this forever. And then it'll have a nice wood base underneath it. I think it'll look really cool, and I'll have a really cool fossil soup, a nice little display piece. So first things first, let's get this measured up and we'll get out in the shop and get going on the base. Okay, so first things first, I have my lines drawn out where I want to cut for the base of this thing. Like I said, I want it to sit up a little bit, kind of just like this. So what I'm going to use for that piece is, this is just a piece of 1x2. I'm just going to zip like, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch off of that so it sits up off the board. And then we will head over to the router table, round off the edges, and I'll show you what we got when we're done. Okay, so I got my pieces done, I got my base, I got my tiny little spacer that I'm gonna probably just glue right in the middle there. And then when that's glued, then I'll spray the whole thing with poly, I'll spray the fossil with poly, and then this will sit on top of here, right like this, so it's floating a little bit above the wood. It'll be nice and shiny, hopefully, but first things first, we gotta get this stuff sanded down a little bit. I usually just use like 210 sandpaper and just go around everything, and it seems to be fine. The poly sticks to it great then. So I'll do that, and then we'll get inside and we'll start spraying. Okay, so both of my pieces are done. Again, like I said, make sure that your piece of fossil soup or whatever you're spraying is totally clean of dirt and everything. You know, use a toothbrush, use whatever you can to get every single little grit out of there so the spray works a little better. And I have my little middle piece glued in there. So this is what I use, just some Minwax warm semi-gloss so it doesn't get too shiny. So I'll hit it with one coat now, and then I'll wait a few hours, and then I'll hit it with a second coat and see where they're at. Okay, so a couple coats of poly on each thing. So here's our base, nice and shiny, and then we got our peg, and I actually did spray the poly on top of that so it would get hard so I could stick some double stick tape to there when I put the two pieces together. And then this is what we got for the fossil soup. So it actually did turn out really good. You know, all the tubes took that shiny polish, and then the mudstone or whatever was inside of there didn't really take it, so I even was able to keep the little bumps on that one stem. But yeah, I think it turned out really good. It's got a good contrast with that duller mudstone on the inside. So what I'll do is I'll just stick it right up on here, probably right like that. And that would be the finished piece. You know, like I said, I'll just put a piece of double stick tape on there, and it's just floating up just a little bit so that if I ever wanted to get like a little nameplate or something for right here, I can put it on there, a fossil soup or something. So yeah, I think it turned out really good. Nice little fossil soup display. So if you like this video, leave a like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for some close-ups at the end. and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.